What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going through the Winnipeg Jets and how they could fix the power play via trade, via system change, everything. We're going to be talking about it in this video. It's something that's been holding the team back really all season. They've been having a phenomenal year. However, they just have not been able to put the puck in the back of the net on the power play. We know how good this team is defensively, one of the best, shutdown teams in the NHL. They do not allow a lot of goals. I believe it was 34 games in a row where they allowed 3 or less goals until it was ultimately broken by the Boston Bruins. This is a real team, and with all this talent, it's shocking that they can't score on the power play. Now, if we take a look at, where they sit here in terms of power play percentage, they're 10th worst in the NHL, sitting at 16.1%. That is just not good enough. And when you go into the playoffs, you're going to have to capitalize on the opportunities that you get. You don't really get a ton of opportunities in the playoffs, so scoring on the power play would be a big help. I understand that, a lot of the Jets have been hurt for, long periods of time this year. Kyle Connor, Gabe Vilardi, Mark Scheifele all have missed time in, separate instances and really haven't all played together. And I think that will help now that they are seemingly trending towards being healthy. They'll have some time to heal over the All-Star break, but they need more. And, the trade deadline coming up, that is going to be huge for Winnipeg. So, who is somebody that they could be looking to fix the power play, right? I'm going to start off with a defenseman that I think is very interesting, and that's Shane Gostisbehere from the Detroit Red Wings. The Red Wings this year are not a very great team. They're one of those bubble teams that could sneak into the playoffs, but likely I just don't think are good enough in the East there. I don't think that they're going to be able to get through some of those other teams that are fighting for those playoff spots at the moment. I think that this would be a great pickup for Winnipeg, and I don't think that they'd have to break the bank to do it either. Gostisbehere is a power play merchant. He's got 32 points in 47 games, but actually 20 of those points are on the power play. 2 goals, 18 assists on the power play this year for Detroit. He's been great in that area. Josh Morrissey is great on the power play, and I like having him there on the first unit. However, I don't think he slings it around fast enough. I don't know. I really like Josh, but I think he's more of a power play 2 kind of guy. But just imagine that if we could afford to have Morrissey on power play 2, that would be great. I love Morrissey 5-on-5. I like him penalty killing. I like him doing really everything, and his offensive ability is great. However, I just think that, we probably could do better on the power play. So Gostisbehere going to be a UFA at the end of the season, as he signed that 1-year deal worth $4.125 million this past offseason with Detroit. So, if they do sell, he's going to be a UFA. He does have a 10-team moderated no-trade clause if the Jets are on there, and they do make a move for him. I'm assuming he'd be more than willing to waive it. Just go try to win a cup, and then, you can kind of figure out what you want to do with your contract situation going into the future. All in all, I think if Winnipeg wants to upgrade the top 4 of their defense, bring in a guy that can score, bring in a guy that can, just totally be a quarterback on the power play, I think they've got their guy, and I think Shane Gostisbehere would be a really sweet pickup for Winnipeg. Now that we've talked about a guy that I really like, and I think that would be a great fit for Winnipeg on defense, let's look at somebody that I just do not want any part of being on the Winnipeg Jets this year, and that's Elias Lindholm, who has 1 goal in his last 23 games. I know a lot of people are saying that this guy would be a great fit in Winnipeg because of his face-off percentage, and then he'd fill that number 2 hole perfect. And while I like Elias Lindholm and everything, I think he's a good player, I don't think he fits the bill for what Winnipeg needs. They need finishing ability in the worst way. I don't think he really pushes the needle too much, truthfully, with this team. I mean, 31 points in 48 games is great, but only 8 goals is crazy, and that has regressed big time from seasons past. I know he's a 20 goal scorer most of his career, but looking at where he's at right now, I understand he's playing on a pretty trash Flames team and everything, but 8 goals in 48 games is not good enough. I'd rather just keep Vlad Namestnikov at that point and spend assets elsewhere if you're going to acquire a guy like this. I get his face-off percentage is nice. I know he fits the build here, kind of, but the finishing ability is not there. It does not move the needle on the power play. Elias Lindholm, I want the Jets to stay away as far as possible away from Elias Lindholm at the deadline, and I think he's going to be extremely expensive, as he's going to be a UFA. There is going to be a bidding war for him, and it's going to get very expensive, so I think Winnipeg's better to stay away from that and spend their assets elsewhere on a different 2C, go big on defense, right? We know Jacob Chikrin's name's been out there. There's a few other defensemen out there that I think would be great for Winnipeg, but I think that they should be staying as far away as possible from Lindholm. Now, to flip the page to a guy that I would love to see in a Jets jersey is Claude Giroux from from the Ottawa Senators. 44 games played, and he's got 40 points at age 36 years old. The guy is a beast. He doesn't slow down. He's got 14 goals and 26 assists. This guy would fit the bill perfect for Winnipeg, as he's got 10 of his 40 points on the power play. Now, I understand that Claude Giroux does not play a lot of center anymore for the Ottawa Senators, as, he prefers to play the wing. That's fine. He can keep playing the wing. We just need him to take draws, and that's, something that a few of the players in the NHL do. They'll go take the draw, and they'll go play the wing, and then a guy like Perfetti can take over, in the flow of play, the center position. He doesn't actually have to play the center position. He just needs to take the draw, and that would be something that I think would be totally fine. He's a great face-off guy. I think that Perfetti is more than capable of playing the middle of the ice and playing, all the center roles, everything like that. More than fine, responsible defensively anyway. But this is the piece that I think puts Winnipeg over the edge into that legit cup contender conversation. He checks all of the boxes that I think Winnipeg needs. A guy that can win faceoffs, yup. A guy that can score goals, yup. A guy that can, produce on the power play, yup. He checks all of the boxes, literally all of them, including term, as his contract, he does have one more year after this season at $6.5 million. Now, the thing we have to look at is the modified no trade clause. So would he be willing to move that? Maybe. I don't know. That gets a little bit trickier, when players are older. I know Claude Giroux is from Ontario, so, that kind of gets messy there. Is he willing to leave home? Maybe. Who knows? All right. I don't know. But if he is willing to say, hey, I'm going to go play year 2 in Winnipeg, I'm going to go try to win a Stanley Cup, I'm going to go try to get a ring, then hey, baby, let's get it. I'm so down for Claude Giroux. I would give up a lot of assets if I was Kevin Cheveldayoff, if I could acquire Claude Giroux. And I mean, hey, you've got such a great team right now, one of the best defensive teams in the NHL. Why not add a guy like Claude Giroux to put yourself over the edge and go try to win that Stanley Cup? I think that would be an incredible pickup for Winnipeg, and I don't see many other teams making that big of a splash, right? I don't see there really being a bigger splash right now than Claude Giroux. Maybe there's something crazy out of left that might pop up, but Giroux would be the white whale, I'd have to imagine right now. One thing that I think Winnipeg also could do on their power play, just the way it is without acquiring anybody, is playing Mark Scheifele in the slot and not playing him along the board, because he is horrific at the board play. It takes way too long to make the decisions. Just put him in the slot like we saw in, the 2017 to 2020 era of Mark Scheifele, and just let him shoot. The guy's got a rocket, but he thinks too much. Just take it down a notch, man. Like, just shoot the puck. The guy can shoot, he can score, just sometimes he forgets that he can do that. And I think that Mark would benefit big time from being in the slot. I think his numbers would go up, already more than they are. And I just think that all around this would help the Jets team immensely. This isn't, breaking news or anything. I know everybody's been clamoring for this to happen pretty much all season. I hope Bonus gets his head out of his ass, or not even Bonus at this point, but just Brad Lauer. God, what a terrible power play coach that guy is. I don't think he'll be brought back next year. He's sinking this power play, and I just would really love to see Scheifele get that slot opportunity again, because there's really no reason that Alex Iafallo and players like that should be in that role over Mark Scheifele. One last thing that I think could help the power play. It's not going to happen, but acquiring Patrik Laine would be one of the funniest things that the Jets could do at the trade deadline. This is not going to happen. I don't want it to happen, by the way. I think it'd be really fun and cool, but I'm trying to win a Stanley Cup here. I'm not trying to, just bring back the feelings and the memories, right? If I'm Kevin Cheveldayoff, I'm going out and I'm going to try to seriously win a Stanley Cup. I'm not going to, just throw sentiment at Patrik Laine. But the thought of it is very fun, I mean, if Laine can come back healthy, maybe get that fresh start and just set him up on the power play, set him up with those clap bombs, play him like second line minutes, doesn't need to be that first line guy. I mean, he even played center in Columbus for a little while, did okay at it. Could he be a centerman, right? Could he be that number 2 centerman? That'd be kind of funny. I don't think it's going to happen, but, Columbus reportedly listening to calls on Patrik Laine. I don't think it makes much sense for them to get rid of him right now when his value is so low. I think they'd probably be smart just to wait until the offseason or go into next season, see how he produces, and, hopefully he comes back a better player next year and they ride from there. But, yeah, with him being on the trade block, I've been seeing a lot of people from Winnipeg being like, hey, he'd be great in a Jets uniform, and as much as I would love it, one of my favorite players to ever wear a Winnipeg Jets jersey, but I just don't think it's in the cards. I don't think it makes sense with his cap, with his injury history, just where he's at right now. It would be a massive gamble, and I don't think that Cheveldayoff is even, thinking about it right now. But yeah, guys, this video is a little bit of a mess, kind of all over the place, but I've talked about guys that I think that I would like to see the Jets acquire that could fix the power play, could help the team in the playoffs as a whole. I've, kind of talked about the system a little bit with Mark Scheifele, some guys that I don't want, right? I'm kind of going all over the board here, but I want to know what you think about this video, about, who I've said, who do you want? Who do you think would really fix the power play? Who do you think would just help the team in general? I want to hear from you guys. But with that, I'm going to hop on out of here. Leave a comment down below, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Go Jets, go! Bye-bye.